live from the House of LeMay Makeup and Dressing Room.
Here comes Amber, stop what you're doing. Here comes Amber, she's just doing what she can. Here comes Amber, cue the spotlight. Here comes Amber with 2 drinks in her hand. The matriarch of fashion, from sequins to her glasses, you can't look away. Ask her, does she do it? There's really nothing to it. She's got that feminine gaze. If you have a party, or if you're feeling naughty, call up the House of LeMay. Here comes your favorite gal. Here comes your queen. Here comes the talk of the town. It's Amber Live tonight. The music starts playing. It's time for cabareting on Amber Live tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, please turn off all cell phones and get ready for your host, Amber LeMay.
Hi there, Amber LeMay here from the House of LeMay and Amber Live, wishing you Happy Pride! Oh my gosh, June is such a special month. Not only do we get a chance to celebrate, but we get a chance to reflect on why we get to celebrate. Those brave souls back there in 1969 who said, we're not going to take it anymore. And since then, all those people who have fought for us to get us the rights that we have today. We have a lot to be proud for, and we want to show it all the ways we can. So get out there, wave those flags, and tell everybody, Happy Pride! Happy Pride! Yes, that was a little video that Russell and I put together to go on TikTok and our Facebook page. Are you friends with me on Facebook? You should be. But for right now, I want you to like, share, and subscribe what you're watching right now. But think about becoming one of Amber's friends on Facebook. I put some funny stuff up there, and I think you'll want to see it. But back to Pride. Yes, today is the anniversary of the Stonewall Uprising. How frightening that must have been back in 1969 when they said, we're not going to take it anymore, and how far we've come in those years. But you know what? It's not that way everywhere in the world. Just in Istanbul, Turkey, this weekend, they attempted to have a Pride celebration, and they were fired with rubber bullets and tear gas. It's not like this everywhere in the world. So let's be thankful for the rights that we have, and let's be grateful for those who went before us. So happy Pride, everyone. All right, it's been a crazy week, so let's look at the headlines. Well, speaking of Pride, friend of the show and personal fan, Pennsylvania Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman is at it again, going against state law and flying the Pride flag. Republicans keep taking it down, but John keeps putting it back up. According to Fetterman, it's technically breaking the law by flying this Pride flag off my office balcony, but it's perfectly legal to discriminate or deny service to members of the gay or trans communities in Pennsylvania. He's now officially a gay superhero. He's like if Thanos were good and the rainbow-colored infinity shoes just represented a badass Pride gauntlet. John is now a leading candidate for the Democratic Party's nomination for U.S. Senate in Pennsylvania. Now that's what D.C. needs. Well, what D.C. doesn't need is Marjorie Taylor Greene, because she still doesn't know how abortions work. Now, Georgia's most insane post-Confederacy representative refuses to support the Plan B emergency contraceptive pill because she thinks it's an abortion pill. But it isn't, because that's not how abortions work. I don't understand. If abortions are the most important issue for you as a politician, why don't you know anything about them or what they actually are? You'd think you would be well versed in all the ins and outs of this procedure that is the most evil thing ever, but they aren't. They think a pill that blocks conception is the same as an abortion. How do I, a drag queen, know more about the female anatomy than this cisgendered woman does? Wait, is she a woman? Or is she a troll? If we're going off personality, troll. Definitely a troll. The Redneck Rave, the largest redneck celebration in the country, was held in Kentucky last week, and it ended exactly how you expected, with a lot of four-wheelers, something called a goldfish race, one slit throat, someone impaled on a log, and 48 felony arrests. Get her done! I think you got her. The only thing that surprises me is that this wasn't in Florida. Now, Kentucky is pretty quiet, mainly because they don't have a lot of internet. But this level of absolute white people shenanigans seems like it should have happened somewhere else. Watch your back, Florida. Kentucky is trying to steal your trashy thunder. Now for the good news of the week. Rudy Giuliani lost his law license in New York State after the election lies he's been telling. The New York Supreme Court suspended the law license of the former mayor and leaky hair dye model until a further investigation can be held, which doesn't look great for Rudy. And he volunteered for this. He worked pro bono for Trump. Who says yes to that job description? Seeking dubious lawyer to work for Donald Trump. Responsibilities include appearing batshit crazy on Fox News, making unsubstantiated claims about the election, audibly farting during state congressional hearings, and holding a press conference in front of the Philadelphia Landscaping Company store fronts while pretending that's exactly what you meant to do. Compensation? There is no pay, and it will cost you your reputation, your ability to pay your own legal fees, and your law license. And that's this week's headlines. All right, that was a good wrap-up of the week. Let's find out what's happening tonight's show. Hey, Russell, come on in. Hey, Russell.
Hey, Amber, how are you?
All right, you got all the bugs worked out of your internet there?
I hope so. We had a rough start before the show, but we always have Jack as a backup. So
Yeah, the excitement of live theater, that's what we call it.
and then if he can't do it, then it's all up to you.
Be a short show this week. No, we're fine. All right, Russell. So tell the people what's the best way to watch the show, because I know we got some new watchers this week.
Well, the best way to watch Amber Live is always on YouTube. And the reason for that is because YouTube is in full HD, so you get to see all of Amber's beauty. So we recommend watching there. And while you're on YouTube, as Amber mentioned earlier in the show, you should subscribe to us. There's a little subscribe button down in the corner. You just click on it. And then you can also hit the notification bell, and then you'll find out when we're going live.
Yes. And we've been going live every Wednesday for Amber Chat, and that's been fun. You know, last week on Amber Chat, we had people commenting. There was someone from Washington, Montana, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Florida, Tennessee, Massachusetts, Vermont, New York, and London. All were commenting during Amber Chat. That's pretty cool. I thought.
In the past, we've also had Australia on during Amber Chat as well.
Yes. Oh, speaking of which, I forgot to add him for that other group that we're doing. Christopher Pepin Neff, who was on a couple of weeks ago, had his book signing this week in Australia, and he had a bunch of drag queens there. It was quite the sight. Yes. All right, we got that taken care of. So, Russell, how many weeks have we been on air?
Oh, I think I've lost count. This is like 67.
67 Sundays. There's been an Amber Live show for 67 weeks. Let's see, one we had a highlight show, and one we showed a repeat. But other than that, they've all been live shows. But Russell, something's changing, isn't it?
Yes, July 4th is happening. And Amber wants to go see fireworks. So we are taking July 4th off. So there will be no show next week. So we just want to let you know that.
But if you get really lonely, you can go over there on amberlive.tv and you can watch a rerun on your own. You can do that.
Yeah, everything's on YouTube. Lots of clips, lots of old shows, anything you could ever want to watch. So it's all there to keep you company while we're gone. And I do want to show you our July schedule just so you can see it. So July 4th, we have no show. On July 11th, we have an amazing new interview with Dixie Longgate, who has been on the show before, and she is hysterical. And also on that show, we'll be doing an Amber Classic. We'll be rerunning the episode with Elliot Robinson talking about the Jim Crow era and the Jim Crow laws, and he was amazing. If you didn't see it, even if you did, it's a great chance to see it again. And Dixie's interview is brand new. So then on the 18th, we have Dr. Stephen R. Iacovelli, who is known as the gay leadership dude, and he's also fantastic. Gave a great interview. And we'll be rerunning another Amber Classic. The Florida man and comedian Ben Brainerd's interview will be part of that. And then finally, on July 25th, we'll be back 100% live with DJ Rockstar Aaron and a second guest that's yet to be announced.
Yeah, so exciting, though. Because we're going to take some time off. Yeah. I think we deserved it, Russell. So, but those new interviews with Dixie Longgate and Dr. Steve are fascinating. They were great interviews. With Dixie, all I said was, "Hi, Dixie," and she talked for 20 minutes.
And I will set those up to run on YouTube. They'll broadcast out to Facebook, but if you go to YouTube to watch, and of course subscribe, maybe Amber or I will watch, because we'll set it up as a premiere and we can still chat.
Yes.
But we're traveling, so we won't be able to hook up to the internets quite like we usually do. So
yes, but no, it'll be great. I can't wait to get back. But we will be on for Amber Chat this Wednesday, and possibly the following Wednesday, but not that 1 week. But anyway, we'll let you know. Keep abreast to what's happening here with Amber Live. All right, Russell. So take it away with your favorite part of the show.
Yes, the Boostiers, the people who help keep this show on the air. We always want to thank them all, our super Boostiers, our regular Boostiers. All of that support is vital to this show and really helps us put everything together. So thank you all so much. If you'd like to become a Boostier, you can do so using Venmo at RJD Pro. It's right there on the screen, and we really appreciate it. Any amount you can give is highly appreciated, but we do have some levels. If you'd like to give $25 or more, we'll send you an Amber Live sticker. If you give $100 or more, you get a sticker and a magnet. And for $200 or more, you get a sticker, a magnet, and a beautiful Amber Live mug. So again, that's Venmo at RJD Pro, and that support is vital to keeping us on the air. And thank you all.
And I do thank you, Josh Beaupre, for reminding me that we do have a special sports report during Amber Chat featuring Big J, Sporty J. I think that was our nickname for him, was Sporty J.
And he did a great job.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. We're happy to have him on the team. All right, so we have a caption. We have a picture for people to make.
We do have a picture for this week. So if you've got a funny comment about this picture, put it in the comments. Label it as a caption for the picture, and Jack will bring it up later. This is our picture of the week that you can send a caption in for. So think of something funny to say about that and send it to us. And at the end of the show, we'll bring them up and talk about them.
Olay. Yikes. All right, so let's get on with the show, Russell. Who are we talking to tonight?
We have two fantastic authors tonight, one of whom has been a guest on the show before, or at least his alter ego has. The first one is Robert E. Blackmon, who many of you know as the Church Mother, who has been on the show a number of times and who has, I think, we saw 1.4 million followers on TikTok now. It is amazing. And he is here to talk about the new book he's written. So I'll let you find out about that from him. And then later in the show, we have the fantastic Lee Wind on, who has a new book out, and he can't wait to share that with you. And is very well themed for tonight's Pride. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and they're both just fantastic people to chat with. You're going to have fun, Amber.
Oh, I can't wait. Can't wait. We got Rocco and Boog and Shug, and that's some other stuff too as well.
Yes,
All
hopefully
right.
Rocco doesn't get stuck on the highway again.
Left us hanging last week.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Russell.
Have fun.
Yes. As Russell said, we've got a returning guest tonight, Robert E. Blackmon, who is a great inspirational speaker on TikTok, as well as a funny presenter as well. So let's bring him in. Robert, come on in. Hi there, Robert.
Hi, Amber. How are you? Oh, wait, hold on. Happy Pride.
Thank you. Did you go to any celebrations or take part in anything?
No, because in Canada here we are still very much on lockdown, and so we're taking the precautions. However, we're in farm country, so we have lots of space, so it's all good.
Oh, good. All right. So, Robert, you were doing your TikTok, your inspirational messages every day.
My positive vibes, yes.
Yes. And but then you decided to write a book. Tell us what prompted you writing this book.
So, COVID, actually. Long story short, back in March of 2020, my mother was one of the first diagnosed and admitted patients in the hospital. So she's in Michigan, and we don't know exactly, but she was in around the first 10,000 people who was diagnosed and actually put on a ventilator with COVID. So it sort of transpired through just the notes and the experiences of the book. And so my mom lived, thankfully, but she was on the ventilator for 15 days and she was in the hospital for 79 days. And early on in the pandemic, if you were on a ventilator for more than 4 or 5 days, it was like, forget it. And she said, I wasn't ready. I still have stuff to do. And so the book really came out of those experiences. So there are lots of interviews from the healthcare workers, some people who are clergy, and experiences just from friends who experienced the pandemic. And I was never going to be a part of the book, but I couldn't really tell the story without my own personal connection. So when we talked last time with you, me, and Church Mother, I was very much in the scenario, in the situation, and very few people knew. And TikTok and being able to channel my energy into other things actually, I think, saved me, because it was like, I wouldn't wish this on anybody.
So you were in Canada, your mother was in Michigan. Were you able to visit her?
Still not. She was there, and I'm her only child. And so, and my father has been deceased for a dozen years. And so every decision that was made was via phone with the doctors and the nurses and a couple of my mom's best friends. And so it's not my story, it's their story. And I love the fact that they are able to share in their own words what they were going through. So as I like to say, Amber, we all have our own personal stories about COVID. We all have been touched in some way, even if we didn't experience personally COVID. We at least are aware of what it is because it's affected our livelihoods and so forth. But these individuals give a firsthand account, and so I try not to be too judgmental on people for the decisions they make, even though they may not be the choices that I would make. But I always say, unless you've walked in somebody's shoes, you have no idea what they've been through. And so this book is to hopefully give people an idea, if they're on the fence about whether or not they should vaccine, if they are on the fence about if any of this is real, and even if they've experienced it, it's at least something that they can go, somebody else gets this, So it's a story of hope.
Well, how exciting. Now, how did you get it published?
So I was a self-publisher. So I've published 3 books and self-published. And my thing is, it was timely. and I didn't want to go through all of the rigmarole with trying to. I don't think that it was something that it wasn't that I couldn't get it published. It was just such a personal situation that I just felt like I needed to tell the story in my own way, in my own time. And I'm very grateful because both in the United States and in Canada, because it's on Amazon. It's gone on the bestseller list on both. So I am extremely happy. I'm extremely fortunate that people are enjoying. I don't like to use the word enjoy, but they are at least favoring the book and what the experience is. So we're very, very lucky.
So how does one go about self-publishing a book?
Oh, there it is. So it can be a bit scary for some people if you've never been through the procedure, but it's actually not that difficult. And what I've been telling people, because everybody has a story, right? You run into people all the time, and I'm sure on your show you get people all the time that says, "Oh, I should write a book. Oh, I got a book. You know, there are 2-3 books in me." What I tell people now, and it's actually how it helped me this time. This book was different from the others in that I would write a few lines and then I would cry because I would be reliving the experience. Well, what I did and what I suggest people do, just take your phone or a recorder, and every computer now has the dictation, like the dictaphone kind of capability. Just press record and talk. Just share your experiences into the recording, and then you can capture all of that. And then you have, obviously you have to sort your thoughts out, but then there are several after effect apps that you can use, Amazon and Blurb, and there are a dozen or so where you can publish a picture book or just a written book or an audio book. There are many ways that you can do it, but it becomes a passion and a labor of love. And if you've never published before, there can be a bit of a learning curve, but it's worth it. It's worth it.
Money out of your pocket?
None, not a dime, not a dime. It's print on demand. So basically, if any of your watchers want to purchase Courage Behind the Mask, whether it's in the paperback or in the digital Kindle form, they just go to Amazon.com, type in the book or my name. It comes up. They click the button, either which one they want. In less than a week, it's printed and shipped right to them. So I'm out of pocket at nothing. There's no expense. It's just the time of putting it all together. So it is. I recommend it even to experienced authors. I suggest they do this because now, Amber, we are in this age of we're in this age where you can promote anything yourself if you have the tenacity. You have to have the tenacity and the will. By the way, you deserve a Sunday off, damn it. After 60 some shows, that's a commitment. And so you deserve that. And hats off to you. Thank you so much, because you in this pandemic has given us a voice, a platform to speak where most other places were shut down. So I thank you for that.
Well, I thank you for coming along for the ride. All right. So during the pandemic, in early days of the pandemic,
yes.
TikTok just exploded. It had been there for a while, but all of a sudden people had nothing else to do. So they were doing their TikToks. Is it waning down now?
So I wouldn't say it's winding down, but it's different. Like when I was on your show the first time, I don't remember how many views I had, but I was gaining some momentum for, a middle-aged Black guy. I was because originally it was for kids. TikTok was for kids with the dances and things. Since the last time since that first time that I was on your show, I now have, as Russell said, I have 1.4 million followers. I'm verified on the app as well as other apps. I have had many endorsement deals with many brands, and I have a huge brand that I can't talk about just yet, but it'll be out in a couple of weeks. And it's something that most of you all have seen. It's a brand that you will all see, but it's all come through TikTok. So TikTok is morphing because there are lots of people that are over the age of 30 who are now getting discovered on the app. And I think from the commercial standpoint, film, TV, and all that kind of stuff, they are able to pluck talent that they never would have seen in a casting. And so it's different because the stakes are higher. You know, if you are a professional, you can have your business here. For instance, my entire business is now online. It wasn't before. So everything that I do, they contact me through this little box. And so that's how TikTok has really changed the game. They've made Instagram step up. They've made the Book of Faces step up. They've made every other platform really step up because they are the Louis B. Mayer of this age. It's amazing.
Well, fascinating. Well, I want you to come back here and tell us about your big announcement.
I will.
When you're ready.
I promise, I will.
I'm excited about that. Well, thank you so much, Robert. We're going to let's show the cover of the book one more time.
Yes, ma'am. It's Courage Behind the Mask, a story of life, death, and surviving COVID-19. It is about the survival of my mom and her journey, her TikTok journey. There she is. There's Miss Claire Blackmon.
Oh, I love the hat.
In her church hat, yeah, in her Aretha Franklin hat. Yeah, she's so sweet. She's a sweet woman.
Oh,
so
I'm
thank
so sorry.
you so much for that.
I'm so sorry you haven't been able to see her though. Oh,
we do this. We do this actually. Yeah. So it's good. So we'll see each other soon. It'll be soon. She's alive and well, and so that is what's most important.
Oh. Well, when you can hug her one for me too. Please.
I will. I will.
Right.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
We'll have you back later on in the show. So
sounds good.
Thank you, Robert. Yes. So fascinating. So you want to write a book every day? Write something down. Speak it into a recorder. Robert knows how to do it. Fascinating. That was great. All right. So one of the favorite things that Russell and I like to do every summer is go to Provincetown. And this year, we have a special correspondent from Provincetown, and here's this week's report from Trampolina. Come on.
Amber, it's Trampolina. Guess where I am? I'm at tea dance with thousands of human beings. But more importantly, human beings, you know, we have Michael Benedetta. Oh my God, and where is Randy? There you are, Randy. Hello. Hello. We miss you so much here. Now, there are many things going on. July 4th is coming up, and it is in full swing. All of the acts now are coming up. All of the Bala Jean Mermans, Mystery Field 1981, they're all happening in the next couple of weeks. So we're a little limited on our artists right now that are performing. But in the meantime, of course, we have all these lovely people. And small cocktails, of course. We expect that. But it's a pleasure to be here right now in Provincetown. We look forward to seeing you all come as soon as possible. Bye-bye. Woo.
Oh, I can't wait, Trampolina. We'll be there at the Carnival Week in August, and I'm going to be staying there at the boat slip, too. So I'll be overlooking all those handsome men's. That was great. All right. So one of the things that we thought would be cool. Let's see. Let me get. All right. Little technical difficulties here. Okay. So as we prepare for a few weeks off of live shows, we thought it'd be cool to catch up on what some of our former guests were up to. Remember when comedian Hal Sparks appeared with Pennsylvania's Lieutenant Governor and now U.S. Senate candidate John Fetterman? Well, recently, Sparks was featured on a Stars in the House reunion show with others from the cast of Queer as Folk. It was part of Seth Rudetsky's continuing fundraising efforts for the Actors Fund, which has raised over $1 million during the COVID pandemic. Check out Seth Rudetsky. He's pretty cool. Queerly, an online magazine and newspaper covering gay-oriented lifestyle and news, recently announced their Pride 50, a list of individuals who've made a positive impact in the last year. Now, I wasn't on the list, but included in the list was another prominent Pennsylvania politician that has graced our show, and that's State Representative Brian Sims. Ooh, I'd put him on a lot of different lists. Brian is now running for Fetterman's office of Lieutenant Governor. Good luck, Brian. Now, some of my drag queen guests are right back out there on stage and screen. Sherry Vine's variety show is available on Apple TV. Miss Richfield, 1981, is playing to packed houses in Provincetown, as is Toronto's Misconception, both to rave reviews. I can't wait to see their shows in August. Vermont State Representative John Kalaki recently had his review of Jane Cortez's new book, Gordo, appear in the July-August issue of Gay and Lesbian Review Worldwide. He does a lot of writing. Very good. And a few weeks ago, we had one of the founders of the New York City Drag March, and that event took place last Friday. And it looks like it was a lot of fun. You can see him. That's Brian right there. Yes, that's Brian. I'm sure he had fun. Look at all those people, all those drag queens marching. Oh, that would be fun. Yes. All right. And the dance troupe Merd, who's appeared on a few of our music shows and the viral Winters of Drag Ball, debuted a new video last Sunday night. The video was filmed at a local bar here in Burlington, T. Ruggs Tavern, and had a cameo appearance by owner Mike Dunn. Jer Coons did a great job putting it together. The YouTube link is in the comments, so you can get that. I think Russell's going to put it in the comments, but you really want to watch it. It's really put together well. And Meryl Jarvis, owner of the Meryl's Roxy Theater here in Burlington, opened on Friday, and I was there to see In the Heights. Oh, how I've missed going to the movies, and I can't say enough about In the Heights. Great music, the choreography is beautiful, the cinematography, it has everything. It's a great escape, so go see In the Heights. All right, so Russell, come on in. All right, Russell, how you doing?
Hello, Amber.
All right. Okay, so we got more coming up. We've got Lee Wind coming up. We've got Rocco, and we're going to have Lee and Robert talk to each other. I'm sure they're going to have some good questions to ask. So that's going to be fun. All right. So let's see, what else do we want to talk about? The caption. Let's show the caption up on that. All right. Whoa. Let's see some captions there. Let's put some in the comments there. It's just market caption, and Jack will show them at the end there. And then one more plug for the bustiers, Russell.
Yes, let's not forget the bustiers. You can help us out and become a bustier using Venmo at RJD Pro, and we really appreciate all your support. That's a huge help to the show.
And none of that money is going to our vacations. So, some people might think that, but no. But if you'd want, another way you can help is by ordering something from our store. And our friends, the Gephardts, were on their vacation recently and sent us this picture of the towel that they got. Yes, that was on an Alabama beach, I believe.
I'm sure they were having fun. And so thanks to them. And here's a word from the sponsor.
Summertime, and it's time for vacation. Vacation. Where would I want to go? I know. I think I'd like to go to the beach. Don't worry. I'm bringing my vodka with me. Oh, wow. If I'm going to the beach, you know what? I'm going to need some beach towels. Where can I get some quality beach towels? Oh, I know. AmberLive.tv. There's a bunch of collection of really nice towels. And, how about some T-shirts and some muscle shirts? Those would look nice on the beach. And let's see. If it gets cool at night at the clam bake, what am I going to wear? I better take along my Amber Live TV sweatshirt. Yes, that would be fun to wear. And then at night, at night, I don't have to order anything because I already have my Amber Live TV pillow. Oh, it's so soft. You're going to love it. And then the next morning, what are you going to need? You're going to need an Amber Live mug to drink your coffee or whatever you want to put in it. And if you haven't gotten enough peen lately, check out our Rusty Peen collection. Everyone wants more peen. All this and more is available at amberlive.tv. Order yours today. Yes, order yours today. Lots of fun stuff there that you can order. All right, so our next guest is another author, and I think you're going to find this topic very interesting. We have a little clip to precede this. I thought so. All right, I think did we lose Russell? we
Queer joy. A message sent back in time to my 11-year-old self. You are not alone being a boy who likes other boys. Liking other boys is a thing of joy. A joy that goes back in history. Back to Bayard liking Walter and legally adopting him because there was no such thing as gay marriage in 1982. We did what we did because we loved each other and because we were happy together. Back to Mohandas liking Herman and their 1911 contract pledging more love and yet more love between them. Such love as they hope the world has not seen. Back to Abraham liking Joshua and their letters from 1842 sharing dreams of Elysium far exceeding all that anything earthly can realize. Back to William liking W.H. and writing him 126 love sonnets that were published in 1609. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. And further back in history still, 2,500 years to Juan liking Zia and the love of the half-eaten peach that they shared. History is a thing that includes boys who like other boys. We are not alone. Queer joy then, now, and in the future, queer joy is ours.
No way they were gay.
Mahatma Gandhi? I got to find out more about this. Lee Wynn, come on in. Hi, Lee. You're muted there. You got to unmute there. That's fine.
Hi, Amber. That opera singer just cracks me up every single time I see it.
Is that you?
No, it's a friend that recorded it actually years ago. This book has had a crazy journey, and it originally was set up with a traditional publisher, one of the big 5 corporate publishers. And after our previous president was elected, 2 weeks later, they canceled the book. And then it took a few years to find a braver publisher, an independent publisher, Lerner. And the book just came out in April, and it's called No Way They Were Gay.
Oh.
And yeah, Gandhi was one of the big, I just kept finding these stories. And when I discovered the New York Times actually published an article about a book had been written about Gandhi that was like a book for adults. And it was like maybe 300, 400 pages long. It was called Great Soul. And in it, there was a reference to Gandhi, the love of his life, the soulmate of his life wasn't his wife Kasturba, but it was this guy, this German Jewish architect, Hermann Kallenbach. And because it was mentioned in the book ended up being banned in one of the states of India. So that's how I found out about it. And then I got the adult book. And so my book is actually written, it's for kids. It's really the book I would have wanted when I was 11 years old. But it's also sort of like anybody, it's written at that 11-year-old level, but anybody can read it. And I think that there's a lot of healing that can happen for adults when we discover that actually our legacy goes back beyond Stonewall. It goes back to the Pharaoh Hatshepsut 2,600 years ago, who literally changed their gender presentation over ruling Egypt over 22 years. Started out sort of being presented as a woman, the widow of the previous pharaoh, and sort of the regent for her 2-year-old nephew. And then about 5 years in, declared herself co-king, not queen, but king, senior king of Egypt. And then by the end of their rule, they were presented totally as a man with a false beard. All the statues sort of changed the shape of her face. She had pecs rather than breasts. It was amazing. And in fact, it was really cool. Another book for adults that was written about it, they talked about how
the statues changed colors, because like in Egyptian art, there was a color for men and a color for women. Men were sort of out in the wide world and they were painted red. The statues were painted red, and women were more indoors, and they were patriarchy, and they were painted yellow. And in fact, for Hatshepsut, you can see in one of her temples statues of her as the goddess Osiris changing over time. And originally they were yellow, and then they were orange, this sort of in-between color that didn't really exist in Egyptian art, and was really exceptional, and then red. So this idea that like we can tap into our history, and I think for like gender fluid kids today, how amazing it would be to know that like, hey, you're not the first person on the planet to feel the way you do. There was this pharaoh 2,600 years ago. There's so much. And I just kept saying, no way, they were gay. No way, they were gay. And then eventually I was like, that's not a bad title for the book. So that's how the book got its title.
So what was the first, what was the instigator of you first saying, I got to put all this together?
So the first time, so I'm gay, but I didn't come out until my 20s, and I didn't come out fully to my family until I was 25. And so I spent a bit of my 20s sort of making up for like the teenage years I never had. And so part of that was that I went to a camp, like a gay men's summer camp weekend. And one of the activities was like, it was like hold hands in the forest and talk, and then one of them was a lecture. And this guy was Randy Harrison, not the actor, but a different Randy Harrison, who's since passed away. He talked about the letters that Abraham Lincoln wrote Joshua Fry Speed. And he said that these letters convinced him that Abraham was in love with Joshua. And I was like, oh, no, that can't be true. How could that be true? And I'd never even heard of it. But I couldn't get it out of my mind. So I went to the library and I got out a book, and the letters are published in quite a few books. And when I was dating girls, I judged it the right thing to do, but I didn't feel what I was supposed to feel. And there's this one letter. So Abraham and Joshua lived together for 4 years. They shared a bed. A lot of historians will say that that was very typical on the frontier. You can argue whether Springfield was a frontier or not. But anyway, it's after 4 years, Joshua moves back to Kentucky and marries a woman named Fanny. And then Abraham writes him a letter 8 months after he leaves, and says, are you now in feeling as well as judgment glad that you're married as you are? From anybody but me, this would be an impudent question not to be tolerated, but I feel, but I know you'll tolerate it. From me, please tell me quickly. I feel very impatient to know. And it was not even 3 weeks later that Abraham married Mary Todd. So I read that letter and I got goosebumps. I was like, oh my gosh, that's exactly how I felt. And, I'm not like Indiana Jones discovering lost artifacts. I mean, like I'm just going to the library and reading public domain stuff on the internet, but I'm trying to give it context and really let these voices from history be spoken and be heard, because there's been so much done to make us not know our queer history. And in fact, it's not just our queer history. I'm the G of LGBTQIA2+, but like I've figured out that like my journey is to be an ally to all the other letters in that wonderful alphabet soup of our community. But also I realized that my journey is about being an ally to women and to people of color and to disabled people, and like for everybody that is disenfranchised. And what I started to realize is that like originally I thought, okay, this is such a cool idea, this thing about Abraham and Joshua. If I could go back and tell my 11-year-old self, like the poem, like the book trailer, if I could tell my 11-year-old self, it would have changed my whole life. And then I thought, well, wouldn't that make a great book? So Robert did, I don't know, he didn't crowdfund it, but I crowdfunded and self-published my first novel, which is over my shoulder here, Queer as a $5 Bill. And it's that story. It's about a kid that is closeted, living in a small town in Oregon, and Lincolnville, and his parents own the Lincoln Slept Here bed and breakfast. And he is assigned a book report on Lincoln and gets the same letter that I saw. And he has that same, he's dating a girl, judging it the thing to do, but not feeling it. He has the same goosebump moment I did. And I thought, well, what would a kid today do? And I thought, well, he would out him online. And so that's what he does. And he thinks that like everybody in America is obsessed with Abraham Lincoln and, founder of the Republican Party. And, like the idea that Abraham Lincoln was a guy who loved another guy,
I think for a young person, a really idealistic young person, they could think, it's going to change everything. Everybody will love gay people suddenly. But in fact, that is not what happens. It becomes a huge media firestorm and conservative backlash. And it just all blows up in his face. And he has to sort of figure out what is he going to do. And there's this cool subplot about the family has to bring in a civil rights attorney to help them because they're being sued by the city for losing the tourist economy, destroying the tourist economy, because now everyone thinks Abraham was maybe gay, and the town's going downhill. And this attorney they bring in, she's Black, and she has an openly gay son, and sort of sparks fly between the boys. But the main character has this struggle because if he comes out as gay, no one will believe him about Lincoln. So he has to decide, is he going to sort of sacrifice his own happiness to try to change history and change the world so people know about it, or is he going to let it fade back into history and sort of follow his heart? And so that's the crux of that novel. While I was writing it, I kept putting in all the real facts that I was finding because I wanted my character to discover it and the reader to sort of discover it with the main character. And then I realized that there was too much. I couldn't cram it all in this novel. So I thought, well, maybe there's a nonfiction book, but I don't know about you, but history, when I was taught it in school, it was like names and dates to memorize. It was so boring, and I couldn't have cared less. And there was never anyone like me, and I just felt completely like it didn't relate to it at all. So I thought writing a book that was just about Abraham and Joshua didn't even sound interesting to me. And I thought, well, what if I did a book that was more about this false facade of history that's been taught to all of us? That, like, imagine if everybody important in history was a rich, white, straight, cisgendered, able-bodied guy from Europe. I mean, you don't have to imagine it. That's what we were all taught. But it's so improbable and untrue. And the idea that you can take down, like, one story would have changed my life, right? Just Abraham and Joshua, or just Gandhi and Herman Kallenbach, or just Eleanor Roosevelt and Lorena Hickok, or just the Pharaoh Hatshepsut. Like, any of these would have changed everything. So if we can tear down that facade, then we hear all these other stories, the stories of men who love men, women who love women, people who loved without regard to gender, and people who lived outside gender boundaries, like drag queens. And then you can also hear all those other stories, the stories of women and disabled people and people of color, and really opens up. In history, we have a legacy. It's just been hidden from us. Like Michelangelo, I have this crazy quiz I did. Like, you know, those BuzzFeed quizzes that are sort of like, which Disney princess castle would you live in?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Come on, Amber. What Disney princess castle would you live in?
Oh, no, the Disney castle itself.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Just take the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I love those quizzes, and I know that kids love them too. So I did a fun Pride quiz, which is all about it's take these 9 queer history questions to discover your Pride colors. And the point of it is really more about having fun with history and realizing that history doesn't have to be taught like medicine. It can be more like chocolate. It can be like really empowering and fun chocolate. So here's just one question from the quiz. Let's see if you know it, okay? So Michelangelo, right, the guy that sculpted the statue of David, he spent 3 years carving the statue when he was in his 20s. And it was really his ideal of male beauty. And we know that Michelangelo was a guy who loved other guys because we have a poem that survived. He wrote this love poem to this guy, Tommaso da Cavalieri. And part of it reads, "Oh, if through our eyes the heart's seen in the face, more evidence who needs clearly to show the fire within. Let that do, my lord, that glow as warrant to make bold to ask your favor. Perhaps your soul, loyal, less like to waver than I imagine, assays my honest flame, and pitying it finds it true, no cause for blame. Ask and it shall be given, in that case. O day of bliss, if such can be assured, let the clock hands end their circling. In accord, sun ceases ancient roundabout endeavor, so I might have, certain sure, though not procured by my own worth, my long desired sweet lord, in my unworthy but eager arms forever."
Oh my goodness.
So I know it's so hot and beautiful, and so what happened is after Michelangelo died, his surviving relatives changed the pronouns and changed the words around in the poem to make it seem like he'd written it to a woman. And they changed my lord to my mistress. They did all these shenanigans, but we have to reclaim our history, and that's the original. That's a translation of the original version of the poem that he did write to this guy Tommaso. So in the Statue of David, he hid a secret, so here's the Statue of David. We all know it. And
yes.
So the quiz has a bunch of like possibilities for what the secret was. So is the secret Michelangelo's tattoos on the inside of the wrist that you can't see? Or is it that there's a love poem inscribed on the pedestal that David is standing on? Because the pedestal is over my height. I'm 6 feet tall, and that's like 7 feet tall. Or is it that the pupils of his eyes are shaped like hearts? What do you think, Amber?
Oh, I want the pupils to be shaped like hearts.
Well, it's your lucky day, because indeed they are. And I think there's a poem. Yeah, there you go.
Oh my gosh.
So the statue is like 11 feet tall, and it's like the whole thing. The eyes are about 16 feet above the ground. No one could see that level of detail, but it's like this secret love thing. And I just think that that's such the perfect metaphor for our queer history. It's like it's right there. And yes, we just have to look closer and see it.
Oh my gosh, Lee. So Lee, are you a full-time author? Is that how you make your livelihood?
No, I wish. Someday. I have a couple of books out, and but I have a day job for actually the Independent Book Publishers Association. So I help people like Robert and small companies like Learner that published my book get the word out about their books. So I work for a nonprofit. And that's great. And then I also have a part-time gig for the Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators. I do their blog and their podcasts. So I'm busy, but I'm very happy.
Well, exciting. I know that we have one librarian watching tonight, Jessica Butt, who's a librarian in Key West, and I'm sure she's ordering your books as we're talking.
Fantastic. Yeah, Jessica, that's the book on Hatshepsut. So a lot of it is like finding the adult stuff and trying to like distill it down and help kids understand that, because I think there's also this thing that we think that we can only talk to kids about queerness when they're old, right? Like like the law in Russia, or like they keep trying to pass in Tennessee. This idea that like talking about queer people is talking about sex, and I think that that's where the word homosexual doesn't help us. If we could talk about love rather than sex, and if the word was homo-lovual, for example, we'd have very different cultural conversations. And I think that that's something for us all to think about. Like,
all right, hey, give me one more person. Give me one more person that I wouldn't know that was gay.
William Shakespeare. So William Shakespeare wrote 150 love sonnets. 126 of them are to another guy, and they have some of the most famous language, right? So like, shall I compare thee to a summer's day that are more lovely and more temperate? And he has one poem that's all about him being bi. It's poem 104, sonnet 144, and in it he's like, two loves I have of comfort and despair, which like two spirits do suggest me still. The better angel is a man right fair, the worser spirit a woman colored ill. And can I just share one more? There was this amazing person, Catalina de Eraso. They lived, no, excuse me. Well, they were amazing too, but kind of a terrible person. But they were a lieutenant nun, and they were in the 1600s. They left Spain. They were raised in a convent, and at 16 they escaped, and they went to South America, and they were a soldier and a lover of women. And they were sort of caught for murdering someone, and only then confessed that they had been born with a woman's body, and then ended up becoming a huge celebrity at the time, and went back and met the Pope and got like a special dispensation from the Pope to dress as a woman. I mean, just crazy stuff. It's so interesting. So I took the 12 most surprising stories, I made them chapters, I snuck in another 12 in the book, and it's called No Way They Were Gay, and I bet you'll say it too. No way they were gay.
Oh, all right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Lee. Yes, there's that book right there. Oh, fascinating. Ooh, fascinating. All right. So I want to bring in Robert back. Welcome back, Robert. All right. So Robert, do you have a question? Do you have a question for Lee?
Yeah, I do. Wow, I've been ferociously writing here. We should absolutely connect and talk offline, because there are many connections there.
I love that.
I loved a couple of things that you said, and one thing that really spoke to my heart was you were talking about how your journey is to be an ally to all the letters in the alphabet, and I love that. That spoke to me so much, because I think in the scope of where we are now in social media, everyone is so in need of one thing that I get all the time, and I see you have on your screen. What are your pronouns? And everyone has their own opinion about that. And I always say to people, if you're under the age of 18, it's Mr. Blackmon. If you're over the age of 18, you can call me Robert. Those are my pronouns. And the reason that I do that is because I try to break the barrier or the stereotype of people getting comfortable to labeling me, because we're so used to having to understand why, and sometimes we are just fluid. And so I just wanted to know, how are you able to, with what you do with other literary people like me, how are you able to lend your allyship and your fluidity to just accepting what is, as opposed to figuring out how to make it into a box?
So yeah, I put my pronouns there because I think it's a really easy thing that I can do as a cisgendered guy to be really clear that I understand that I cannot make assumptions about other people's pronouns based on how they look or what their name is.
Absolutely.
And also it helps people that are gender nonconforming or are trans or are intersex or anything outside of the gender binary know that I'm a safe person. I hope they know that I'm a safe person, because I want to be a safe person.
Right.
And I figured that it's like one of the easy things that I can do. And I know that not everyone feels safe or comfortable putting their pronouns, but I do. And I feel like that's one of the little things that I can do to be a lighthouse in a funny way. Like I talk about books in libraries a lot, and how some books are lighthouses. Some books have like the word gay on the cover, like mine, right? And a big rainbow flags.
Right.
And some books have lanterns inside them that just sort of mention that there's queer things about the people. And I think we need both. And I think that for people as well, like, you know, for things like the pronouns, like I'm really happy to be a lighthouse about the pronouns, but I'm a cisgendered guy. And it's like, well, how can I stand up? And I have to say, Robert, you reminded me, talking about the allyship. So doing all the research, the person I was most obsessed with is Bayard Rustin, who was this gay Black activist in the civil rights movement, who was really integral in, like, he was the person that taught Martin Luther King Jr. about the theory of nonviolent protest.
Okay.
He was the one that organized the March on Washington, where Dr. King gave that amazing "I Have a Dream" speech. But nobody knows about Bayard because he was gay. He was openly gay. So he was interviewed in, I think it was 1986. And I just have to read you, because I'm all about, like, I want the primary sources.
No,
So,
I'm loving this, because the book it's a lighthouse, because I was very uncomfortable about, as I was telling Amber before, about inserting myself into the book, but you only get half of the story if you don't include my story, and if I don't talk about my journey and my husband's journey and how we navigated through it, people aren't getting the full story. So I love how you frame that by lighthouse. So please share that, if you would.
okay, so Bayard was asked if he had any advice for other Black gay activists, and he said, well, I think the most important thing I have to say is that they should try to build coalitions of people for the elimination of all injustice. Because if we want to do with the injustice to gays, it will not be done because we get rid of the injustice to gays. It will be done because we are forwarding the effort for the elimination of injustice for all, injustice to all. And we will win the rights for gays or Blacks or Hispanics or women within the context of whether we are fighting for all. I love that. Heart emojis everywhere.
True. It's absolutely true.
All right.
I mean,
so
we're either fighting for everybody or we're not.
Lee, do you have a question for Robert?
I do, Robert. First of all, what a moving story, and thank you for sharing it and publishing it. So they talk a lot about, you know, near-death experiences changing how people live their life, and, you know, to almost lose a parent in the way that you did. I'm really curious, did it change anything about how you live your life?
Yes. So one of those lighthouse moments in the book is that I had to really be honest in an uncomfortable way about telling family secrets. I had to explain that my relationship with my mother has been a rocky one, and that's uncomfortable. I had to explain that we were actually just sort of coming together again for the third or fourth time after being distant just before she was intubated. And so these very uncomfortable conversations helped me and her, my mom, forge a new relationship. We can't do anything to change the past. And unless we are very honest with each other about where we are and accept each other for exactly all the warts that we both have, we're still going to be on that, hamster habit trail doing the same crap all over again. And so for me, what it has taught me is that the open heart that I always have tried to have, it's even bigger. It's even more expansive to the knowledge that people do the best they can where they are. And even if we think that somebody else is a complete screw up, if we think that somebody else is completely corrupt or whatever, for whatever their reasons are, they're doing the best they can for them. I don't have to like it, but if I want them to respect me, I have to respect the decisions they're making. Doesn't mean I have to be friends with them or anything, but I need to be respectful because I need respect in return. So for my mom and I, we have this newfound relationship, but we also have this newfound humility within ourselves. And in fact, just as I was having my segment with Amber, my phone lit up and my mom sent me a text. And if you guys don't mind, I can't believe I'm sharing this. My mom sent me this text. So I've sent her the book and all of her friends have it because a lot of her friends are a part of the story. Their pictures are in the book. They actually kind of helped me through the process. And so she basically says, I just wanted to say thank you for all that you and my husband, Martin, for all that you've done to support me in writing the book. You guys are so amazing. I've read it 3 times and I cry every time I read it. I get calls every day about how amazing the book is. And I thank God for you. Love, Mommy. And I just when my mom would have written something like, I love you before COVID, I would have probably gone, oh, that's sweet. Yeah, that's my mom. But when I read this, I know that she has been through a year of hell. I know that only by divine design is she here to make a difference and change lives and viewpoints, even if they're my own and hers. And so it's definitely made me a different kind of person. And I live more in gratitude because of it.
And there's a healing there, Robert, and that I think resonates with what I was talking about for me doing the research for my book was a healing, right?
Yes.
Like knowing that I wasn't the only gay boy in the world that liked other boys. Like there's a healing there, and I think it's a very hopeful message that people do change. We can change ourselves, and we can heal our inner kids that didn't get what they needed now, and we can hopefully pay it forward so kids today. And just everybody today can be better than we had it.
Lee and Robert, thank you so much for coming in tonight. Fascinating, great show for Pride Day. You guys really said some really nice things that we're all going to be thinking about. Great books.
Thanks for the opportunity, Amber.
Yes. Have a nice day and evening.
Thank you. You too. Happy Pride, everybody.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride. Happy Pride. Oh my. I love it when they start talking to each other and they ask questions. I go, wow, why didn't I think of that? But no, that's why they're there. Oh, very nice. So how could we top an intellectual conversation like that? Maybe with Rocco Zamboni. Rocco.
Hey, Amber, how you doing?
All right, Rocco, what's going on?
Well, it's been a day. Let me tell you. First off, I had to go to the hospital, for work, not because, I hurt myself or nothing, and I got yelled at by a supervisor because she wanted me to stay late. And I said, excuse me, who the hell you think you are? So I said, I'm leaving. So I left. And then, I don't know if you know this, I run a service. I help ladies in distress. When they need help, they call me for any reason. Like tonight, for instance, one lady's out with her kids and she had a little too much to drink because, shit happens. So guess who called me? The one and only Bill Murray. Bill Murray said, "Hey, I got this lady. Come over and pick her up." So that's what I do. And now I'm here and they're all in the damn pool. So I'm just sitting here waiting. You believe this? So
No, I
this is
don't.
my night. But I take, in honor of Pride Month, I take pride in my service to help distressed ladies.
So
I don't know who's saying daddy. I don't get that. I don't understand.
so what does your shirt say there, Rocco? I see Portland. What?
Happy
Yeah.
Pride Month.
Cortland, one of my nieces goes there.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So you're having a pride celebration there at the pool. That's great.
Yeah. Look, I mean, there's skinny dipping going on, all sorts of weird things. This is that lady I was talking about.
Oh,
If you can see her.
Yeah. I
She
think
said,
I've
"Happy
seen her
Pride
before.
Month."
Happy Pride Month.
Hello. All right. So, Rocco, we're going to be taking the next couple of weeks off. But if you want to contribute any new segments, you know how to do it. You can send them in, and we'll add them to the recorded shows.
Yeah, I definitely think I'm gonna do some stuff because, like I said, I got things planned that just didn't pan out.
Oh my goodness.
They all fell in the pool. Hey, good luck getting out of that thing. I'm not helping you.
So,
If
are
it
you
was
having
a
a
lady, I
cookout?
would've.
Are you having a cookout? Are you fixing any food?
No, there's no food. They went somewhere else to eat. I got here, and there's no food.
Oh my!
Let me tell you,
Grilled oysters, though.
grilled oysters. Kiss
Yeah.
my ass.
And corned calamari.
You should have
I
had
didn't
some
see
frozen
any of that.
frozen McRibs. You should have saved some McRibs to.
You're right. I should have. This is definitely a McRib moment.
Well, Rocco,
Bye.
thank you for stopping in tonight, and enjoy a couple weeks off.
Yeah, but I'll be talking to you and whatnot. So you
All right.
have good time. Blow up some stuff. Drink some stuff. Do some stuff.
I will. Thank you, Rocco. Take care of yourself. Bye. Oh, you never know what you're going to get when you bring Rocco in. That's for sure. Hey, Jack. Now it's your turn.
Hey, there was so much distress at that party. I was distressed just watching it. There was a child screaming for somebody's daddy, and Rocco was on the scene. So good luck with that.
Yes. So, how about some comments? Do we have any comments? Or
We did have some good comments today. Russell, let's see that picture once again of the running of the bulls. Larry said, "Talk about taking the bull by the horns." And Gary said, "This is not golf. We're not trying for a hole in one."
Hello.
We had Big J who said, "Ouch, my butt." And Cousin Craig providing us with some culture says, "Texas sophomore regrets yelling 'Hook 'em horns' in Pamplona." For those playing the home game, it's a reference to the University of Texas at Austin.
Yes.
And finally, Ron says, "I only wanted a little head."
That's great.
That's all we got.
We got comments there from Vermont, Ohio, Tennessee.
Hey, Gary.
That's great. Hey, Gary. All right. We had some really nice comments throughout the show, too. I noticed that people appreciated the guests and found them as fascinating as I did. So that was really cool.
A lot of great
Yes.
shout outs for the books that were both published.
Oh, my God. Fascinating.
Good readers.
books. Yes. So let's bring Russell in. Hey, Russell. All right, we survived.
I'm here. The internet didn't crash again.
So far. We just got a few more minutes.
So far.
Yes. So, Russell, let's go through the next couple weeks schedule again, if we can.
Yes. So July 4th, next Sunday, we are taking off completely. We are going to go blow things up, as Rocco said, but only legally. And then on July 11th, we have a great interview with Dixie Longate and Elliot Robinson. And that is a pre-recorded show, but the interview is not only brand new, but extended and hysterical. So if you can make it through the whole interview without laughing, I will be very impressed, because she is one funny lady. And on July 18th, we have Dr. Stephen Iacovelli coming on for an incredible interview. He's the gay leadership dude. He has a new book out all about working in corporate America, and you'll have to read it. There'll be a great offer from him on how you can get his book for free. And then there's the Florida man and comedian Ben Brainerd will be running that classic interview. And on July 25th, we will be back completely live with DJ Rockstar Aaron and one other guest that's to be announced still.
Yes. All right. Well, sounds exciting.
We have a lot coming up, and we're working on some pretty amazing guests in the future right now. So I can't release anything yet, but we are getting bigger and bigger all the time. So
secrets are no fun unless they are for everyone.
I'm wearing a caftan tonight because I've seen pictures from P-Town and San Francisco this week at big caftan parties. So that's why I wore my caftan tonight. So yes.
Well, look at you.
Pride colors. Yes.
It's like the caftan and Tennille.
Very good.
I'm giving you gold here.
Where is Tennille hiding?
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Enjoy your time off. Enjoy your time away from me. That's, I'm sure.
I don't really get to escape you. We're going to be working hard behind the scenes.
Yeah, we're working on things when we come back, some new segments and things. So it's not all just lounging by the pool. So
I'll have to poke Rusty Peen, poke him in the peen and tell him to get off his ass.
Yes, Rusty Peen. Rocco said he was going to be working on stuff. Lucy Bell's going to come back with more bitching in the kitchen and some other things. So so we got a lot of things coming back up. We'll be back live again on July 25th, but we will be on Amber Chat this Wednesday around 8 o'clock. We'll go on at 8 o'clock this week. And possibly the next week, we'll decide. But 8 o'clock on Wednesday. Russell, I know you're traveling. Safe travels. And I'll see you, Jack, on Wednesday.
Thank you.
Yes, you will.
All right.
Thank
you, guys.
Have a great evening, everyone. Happy 4th.
Yes. Happy 4th and happy Pride, everyone. That was a great show. Great interviews. And if you want to tell someone, you should have seen Amber Live last night, go over to amberlive.tv and we'll have we'll have the complete show, but in a day or two, Russell will have the segments of the individual guests as well from all of the shows. We've got almost 500 individual videos on amberlive.tv. So a lot of material there to pass the time. So thank you very much. We've enjoyed the past 67 Sunday nights with you and look forward to many, many more. Have a great rest of June and July. Bye-bye.
I hope you have a happy 4th of July, Bug. I will, so long as the sky blows up. You mean fireworks? Work? You always have to ruin everything with work. I just want to see the sky blow up. Good point. Let's go see the sky blow up.